Stefon Diggs.
Yep. First time back at the stadium.
Yeah.
Because they played him, obviously, last year. But first time back at the stadium.
This is where I have to go. Like, I have I don't know that I'm this. I think I'm this way with all players that leave that were great. If I'm try to give me one where they're gone, they were great, and I'm able to be mad at them. Like Eichel is a great example.
Yeah,
Eichel left, he got booed. I'm not a person that boos him, and I don't blame him. Diggs' departure is a lot different. Diggs is a powder keg that ultimately, like, boom, it explodes and he goes away. But maybe I'm not that much of a booer.
I think that's probably right.
That might be it. That I'm not much of a booer.
What would it take for you to get to?
Yeah, Gilmore. I don't want to boo him when he comes back. He was good.
Yeah,
I guess I have a thing where, sure, if you want to
Marone,
boo that guy. Okay, but he wasn't good.
Coaches are
he wasn't
easier.
Good. You give me a guy that was good. When that guy comes back, I don't feel I need to boo that guy.
But did you boo, like, I don't know, Fitz when he would come back? I mean, everyone loves Fitz.
And I didn't want to boo Briere when he came back. I didn't want to boo.
What about Drury?
No.
I think Drury got more of that than Briere
Maybe.
did.
I don't think I wanted to boo any of these guys. So if you want to do it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's the theater of football, and I expect hearty boos for Diggs in the Sunday night game. He catches first catch he gets is going to be boos raining down. I don't know that Mac Hollins will get booed. Probably not.
He chose to leave.
We're going to go to this game on Sunday, and I'm going to be there where Mac Hollins is going to get welcomed and Diggs is going to get booed.
Right.
And in my brain, that's just like, that doesn't make sense to me. I know why it is happening. But Diggs is one of the best players to ever play for this team. And while it all broke apart, and maybe it was unnecessary, and maybe he's probably the reason it all broke apart, and the things that he's caught along the way as being his fault, and like the narratives that have followed to me have always been just like, I guess if you want to blame him for everything. I saw on Twitter over the weekend interceptions Josh Allen threw with Diggs on the team versus without Diggs on the team.
That's nuts.
Like, that's the receiver's fault.
Right.
He's playing in a different offense. Allen's maturation happens.
Right.
Of course, like, there was, whether it was Allen proving it without him, I've never heard that about any other quarterback ever. Mm-hmm. I don't know where that came from. This idea that Allen needed to prove he could be great without him. Peyton Manning had Hall of Fame receivers his entire career. Did anyone ever say that Manning had to prove he could do it without a great receiver? Nobody ever said that. When Brady had Moss, they didn't win the Super Bowl. They were amazing. Mm-hmm. He was the best he's ever been. This is not to get into like the value of receivers. It's really to kind of get around the narrative about Diggs and Allen and how it all broke apart. To me, that's fine. You know what they did the entire time Diggs was here? Won the division every time. Kind of like they are now.
Yeah.
Allen threw a bunch of interceptions back then. He doesn't throw that many now. They won the division all the time. They still do that now. Allen is the constant, of course, but on Sunday, I expect hearty boos. People have been looking for this to be more dramatic than it is. I think both Allen and Diggs have done a pretty good job of squashing it. Diggs has not stepped in it. He's not said anything bad. In fact, people tried to get him to it. He said, don't try to get me to talk bad about the old place to make you feel good about the new place. That's something he said in Houston. Mm-hmm. Allen, when someone asked him a question last year, said, don't do that. He stopped them from going in that direction. This relationship, however it fractured or fell apart, like, there's no doubt that it did. And we should, of course, like, you're lined up behind the guy that's still on your team and is still great. And life goes on. But the hearty boos that are going to come for arguably the best receiver in franchise history, who, when he was here, had the most catches, touchdowns, yards of any quarterback-receiver combo in the league over that time, to be treated like he was a detriment to what they did, like, you're just never going to sell me on that.
No.
You can sell me on he was starting to become that, and they needed to move and evolve. Like, all right, I've seen that. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. But I'm not one to have any interest in going back and pretending it was bad.
No, right. I mean, he's the all-time leader in yards per game by the Bills by more than 15. Like, it's not even close. He's above 80, and nobody else is above 66. So he's. You could even argue he's the best receiver, I think, in team history for how high the peak was for 4 years. Is it too quick though? Is it too near his departure for there to be a positive reaction? Like, I think at some point in time that era gets appreciated because of how amazing it was for 3.5 years. Like, as much as, you know, the idea is now that you're not forcing the ball. Like, it never really felt like they were forcing the ball to Diggs in the first 3.5 years. It was just, well, he was open.
Right.
So am I forcing him the ball if he's 5 yards away from his corner, or is this just throwing the ball to the guy who's open? The last half of the year, maybe you could argue they were doing that.
Yeah.
Because he was getting targeted a lot.
Behind the line of scrimmage in plays that didn't really fit him.
That's right. That's right, too. But it wasn't working at the end. But that doesn't mean in the first 3.5 years that that's what that was. But that is kind of, I think, what everybody's carrying around right now still. Is that I'm doing it differently than I was with him, and I don't really think that that's that true. Cole Beasley had 100 targets in this offense with Diggs on it. John Brown had 100 targets on this team. But it's only been a year and a half since he's been gone. Like, I'm expecting there to be a pretty negative reception.
Yeah.
For him. But that doesn't mean in 5 years there will be one. I think Hashik's a good example for this. Hashik got booed relentlessly when he returned to Buffalo, and he could walk back into the arena tonight, and what'll happen? He'll get a standing ovation.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think Diggs is Hashik, but I think it's some version of that.
I mean, he was one of the best players at his position and played in Buffalo, and those are, usually appreciated. The thing about forcing the ball, if I could just have a thought experiment out there, everybody, this is what I would say. I don't think the Bills forced the ball to Diggs any more than they're forcing the ball to James Cook right now. What are they doing? Sean McDermott addressed it yesterday. What are they doing? This guy's better.
Yeah.
He said hot hand. He did say they might want to get those numbers down to make sure they're not doing it too much. But are they forcing the ball to James Cook? Or is James Cook clearly earning those touches over the other backs? The depth behind him, we thought there was this depth behind him in Ty Johnson and Ray Davis. And that's just not there. It's not really happening. They're not getting results. So, what do? They lean on the guy that makes plays.
Yeah. He, in the 9 games he was with Joe Brady, he did average 8 targets a game. And it wasn't very, but this is, again, part of when he was here. He would get targeted, but they also threw the ball more, right? Like, don't forget about that. They threw the ball more than they do now. So, even in those games where, all right, like, are they forcing the ball to Diggs in the Joe Brady 9-game stretch there where he's not maybe as good as he was before and he's not as good of a fit for the offense, but yet the ball is still going over there? While all that was happening, Khalil Shakir was breaking out, right? Emerging as, okay, there's room for this guy to grow in the offense and be a part of it, which had not happened yet to that point. So how much was it a detriment? Like, that's where it always stops with me. That somehow he was a negative influence on the rest of the offense because what? Because he was taking on a second defender on his side and suddenly Gabe Davis only has to deal with one player? Because they don't get that advantage anymore. Like, that's where it loses me a bit. But if you want to boo...
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
I think it's fine because, I even got swept up in it when Eichel came back the first night. I have no problem with Eichel wanting to leave, but it's just kind of what happens in a crowd, right? When a guy returns and he's not on your team anymore. I also wonder how many people will even recognize him because he's wearing a different number.
8.
And they have a 9 on their team playing receiver also.
Keyshawn Boutte out there getting booed relentlessly. What did I do?
No, Kyle Williams wears 14, I think. Like, he's the guy I think that might,
That's funny.
You have to be ready for that.